hamakom hazeh manora hamakom hazeh ein ze ki im beit Elohim v'zeh shar hashamayim. How awesome is this place? It is none other than the home of the Almighty. And this is the gate to heaven. A new day has dawned, and each of us is alive again. And the first words that we say are words of gratitude for accepting back into our bodies the soul that God has returned to us. Page 61. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha. Brad Burston's Modeh Ani. This is what I told myself this morning. Whatever you're doing, stop a second. Take a long breath, deep. Take a breath and revel in it, just to decide that you're alive. Take a breath to give thanks. Ask, who is like unto this unknowable Almighty, who invented life itself and breath, and who created our true shields and swords, the health professionals, who are the mightiest, if the most compassionate of angels. Thank you, by whatever name, who created and sent us and sustains these heroes, these champions, who run marathons every single day to just do their jobs, which are to perform miracles. Most of all, take that long breath in honor of and in gratitude to the angels themselves, nurses, doctors, emergency medical technicians and ambulance crews, lab techs, orderlies and maintenance and cleaning staff, research scientists and pharmacologists and epidemiologists, volunteers at vaccine centers, social workers, teachers, first responders, chaplains, laborers, workers, and for so many others, among them the parents suddenly at home with their children, running without training, without help, without grandparents, marathons of their own, all in an effort to save countless lives. Modeh Ani, if only you could hear me. How grateful I am for your faithfulness. Song Modeh Ani Kol Boker by Omer Adam. Modeh Ani Kol Boker shechezartat nishmati Modeh Ani al beged שהנחת על גופי שלא יהיה לי קר אתה שומר עליי מודה אני כל בוקר על האור, על עצם היותי, מודה אני כל הלחם שהנחת לשולחני, שלא אהיה רעב, שלא אדע כאב. על אין ספור חיוכי מודה אני על כל כישרונותיי ועל כל שיריי את כולם אקדיש לך. דע לך, דע לך שמודה אני לך. I offer my thanks to you every morning for having returned me my soul. I offer my thanks to you for the clothes you have laid on my body to keep me from the cold. You protect me. I offer my thanks to you every morning for the light, for the fact that I'm alive. I thank you for the bread you have put on my table, so I won't know hunger and I won't feel pain. I offer my thanks to you for my countless smiles, for my talents, for all my songs. All of my songs are dedicated to you. You should know. You should know that I thank you. I will cry for you, your glorious name. I will call for you, Yah. For you, my life. For you, my thanks. I will call for you. I will call for you. I offer my thanks to you every morning for my strength, for my father and for my mother. I offer my thanks to you for the rain you poured on my fields to care for my loved ones. You gave me my life. I thank you for the day of rest, for abundance and blessing and for family. My whole being is thanks to you. You should know. You should know that I thank you. I will cry out for you, your glorious name, and call out for you, Yah. For you, my life. For you, my thanks. I will call for you. I will call for you. For all my failures, I thank you. For my disappointments, fears, and obstacles, all for my own good. There is no one else in my heart. I thank only you. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. 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 Shabbat shalom. How important it is cleanse, to wash away the filth that accumulates over time, over the day that we live, and then to start again and dedicate our hands, purify our hands, pour over our hands clean, pure water, without any other adulteration, without any other addition, just the water itself, the water of life, to take hold of our hands. This week we saw our new president and vice president sworn into office, and they took their hands, and with one hand they placed their hand and touched a holy Bible, and with one hand they raised up their arm into the empty space of possibility. With their hands, they dedicated themselves once more to all of the precious and sacred traditions that came before us. And with their hands, they raised themselves up with a promise to go forward in honesty and in righteousness. Ma yakar chazdecha Elohim ubnei Adam, tzel knafecha yechesayim. Yirviyun mideshen beitecha v'nachal adanecha tashkein. Ki imcha mekor chayim beorcha nireh or. Shol chazdecha liyodecha b'tzidkatcha b'yishrei lev. How precious is your loving kindness, O God. We take shelter under your wings. We feast on the abundance found in your house. You give us drink from the river of your delight, for with you is the fountain of life. By your light do we see light. Grant your loving kindness to those who love you, and your righteousness to the upright in heart. Page 61. We enter this house not in a rampage, not in a riot, not in order to tear down, but we enter this house with awe and with reverence, with hope and with humility. How good it is to enter a house that represents everything that we aspire to, and to be enfolded in that spirit, instead of smashing it to pieces, to take the spirit of sanctity and justice that this house stands for and breathe it in, take it into ourselves. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael vani berov chazdecha avo veitecha eshtacha ve'el heichal kodshecha How wonderful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, and through your great loving kindness, I will enter your house. I will bow down to your holy sanctuary with reverence for you, Eternal One. I love your house, the place where your glory dwells. And I will bow and bend the knee and seek to become a blessing and offer blessings before the eternal, my Maker. And as for me, Eternal One, may my prayer come before you at this moment of goodwill and acceptance. O God, out of your great mercy, answer me with your salvation of truth. There is no salvation except through truth. Be'emet yishecha. Vani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon
Elohim berov chasdecha anehini be'emet yishecha Elohim berov chasdecha anehini be'emet yishecha.
Page 63, the middle of the page. We seek to accept into our hearts the binding call, a call that is obligatory and binding upon us, and a call that binds us one to another, to love each other as we wish to be loved.
Hareini mekabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha. Hareini mekabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reyacha kamocha l'reyacha kamocha.
Page 81, find Psalm 30, Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid, a song from David to sing at the rededication of the house. And that's what happened this week as well in this country. Chanukat Habayit, we rededicated the house of the nation. This time, let that house be a place where words of truth are uttered, where the debates are for the sake of heaven, where the laws and acts that are promulgated are for the sake of each and every person here and throughout the world, for their goodness and for their sustenance. Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid. Words from this song, from this psalm, were mentioned more than once during the inauguration. Ba'erev yelin bechi ve'laboker rina. Tears may linger for a night, but joy comes with the dawn. You have transformed my mourning into dancing, and my sackcloth into robes of joy, so that I might sing your praise unceasingly, and so that I may thank you, eternal my Almighty God, forever.
Hafachta mispedi lemacholi, pitachta saki vatazreini simcha, leman yezamercha chavod velo yidom Adonai Elohai leolam odekam.
Page 86, bottom half of the page. Save your people and bless your heritage, and shepherd them and raise them up forever and ever. Shepherd them and guide them. Ura'im, be a shepherd for us, and guide those who are shepherding us and leading us. V'nas'eim, so that we're not brought down low, but that we are raised up.
Hoshia et amecha uvarech et nachlatecha Murei, 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 mureim venasei mad ha'olam. Hoshia et amecha, uvarech et nachlatecha. Murei, 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 mureim venasei mad ha'olam. Nafshenu, nafshenu, chikta ladonai, ezreinu, maginenu hu. Nafshenu, nafshenu, chikta ladonai, ezreinu, maginenu hu. Ki vo yismach libeinu, ki v'shem kodsho vatachnu. Ki vo yismach libeinu, ki v'shem kodsho vatachnu. Yalalai lai 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 yalai li lai 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 lai. Ay li lai 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 lai. Ay li lai 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 yalai li lai 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 yalai li lai 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 lai. Alalai li lai li lai 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 lai. Ay li lai ay li lai ay li lai lai ay li lai ay 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 Yehi chazdecha Adonai aleinu ka'asher yichalnu lach. Yehi chazdecha Adonai aleinu ka'asher yichalnu lach. Hareinu Adonai chazdecha ve'eshachat iten lahanu. Hareinu Adonai chazdecha ve'eshachat iten lahanu. Hareinu Adonai chazdecha ve'eshachat iten lahanu. Kuma ezrata lanu, kuma ezrata lanu, ufdeinu leman chazdecha.
Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shebo Hayu Halvim Omrim Beveit HaMikdash. This is the holy day of Shabbat. And on this day, the Levites in the temple of old would sing a special song. Mizmor Shir Li'om HaShabbat, a song composed specially for the day of Shabbat. Page 94.
Tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimecha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai ulezamer l'shimecha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. It is so good to give thanks to you, Eternal One, and to sing to your exalted name, to speak every morning of your great love and your great faithfulness to be acknowledged every evening. And this psalm reminds us that the goodness of Shabbat seeks to teach us, to renew in us the faith that this goodness is indestructible. The wicked may flourish for a moment, but in the end, the goodness of Shabbat will triumph. If we take the strength that Shabbat gives us and use it well.
Page 111. We have benefited from such great love from God. That great love has filled our lives and given our lives meaning and direction. We need to be aware of this and grateful for how God has taught us, has taught the founding fathers of our people rules for living. May we never betray them. May we follow them. And may we take their message and apply them to this new world that we live in. Ava Rabba Haftanu Adonai Eloheinu Chevla Gedola V'Teira Chamalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avur Avotenu Shebatchu Vecha Shebatchu Vecha Shebatchu Vecha Vatelamdem Chukei Chayim Kein Techonenu Tlamdenu Avinu Ha'av Harachaman Hamerachem Merachem Aleinu V'tein belibeinu Lehavin Lehavinu Lehaskil Lishmoa Lilmodu Lelamed Lishmor Velasod Ulekayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha V'yahava. Page 112. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam veshivtecha beveitecha uvelechtecha baderech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Take a moment for silent prayer and meditation. Each of us reaching in and reaching out in our own way.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'ale kol Yisrael, ve'yimeru amen. Uyase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Uyase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Our Torah reading is PARASHAT Bo. This Torah reading brings us out into liberation and freedom. The last 3 plagues are rained down upon Egypt, and finally Pharaoh allows us to leave. And we are able to become a free people at last. These are the words that the Torah tells us about that final glorious moment. This is Exodus chapter 12, and I'm reading verses 40, 41, 42. The length of time that the Israelites lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430th year, to the very day, all of the hosts of the Eternal departed from the land of Egypt. That was for the Eternal a night of vigil, Leil Shimurim, to bring them out of the land of Egypt. That same night is and belongs to the Eternal, one of vigil for all the children of Israel throughout all the ages, all the generations. Umoshav b'nei Yisrael asher yashvu b'Mitzrayim 30 shana ו400 shana vayehi miketz 30 shana ו400 shana vayehi בעצם היום הזה יצאו כל צבאות אדוני מארץ מצרים. ליל שימורים הוא לאדוני להוציאה מארץ מצרים. הוא הלילה הזה לאדוני שימורים לכל בני ישראל לדורותם. So imagine, this is a Leil Shimurim, and the word Shimurim is often translated as a night of protection. The night of Passover is called Leil Shimurim. Here it's translated a night of vigil. It's a night of vigil for God and a night of vigil for us, for all our generations. It can also be translated a night of waiting. How long did God wait and wait and wait until God was able to finally put forth the divine plan to turn us into a free people? In this text it says 430 years. And imagine how long the Israelites waited and waited and kept waiting and kept hoping. Many of us have been talking about how difficult it has been to wait for the last 4 years to end. But there are many in this country who have been waiting for 400 years and more for liberation to come. 400 years and more. Leil Shimurim, to keep hoping, to never give up hope, that finally freedom would come, that finally equality would come, Are we there yet? Has that night arrived? Has the moment of the exodus from the bondage of our own psyches, of our own hearts, and the bondage that we have, the slavery that we have imposed upon others, has that night of freedom finally arrived, that long-awaited Leil Shimurim? Now it is up for us, up to us in every generation to make that happen. In our HAFTARAH, Prophet Jeremiah has God say, this is Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 27. But you, have no fear, my servant Jacob. Be not dismayed, O Israel. I will deliver you from far away, your folk from their land of captivity. And Jacob again shall have calm and quiet, with none to trouble him. Entering into freedom can be a frightening process. And God says, don't be afraid. It's worth it. Yata al tira avdi Yaakov al techat Yisrael ki hineni Moshiacha meirachok v'yetzaracha me'eretz shivyam v'shav Yaakov v'shakat v'shanan v'yein macharit al tira avdi Yaakov. Do not be afraid, my servant, my slave, Jacob. You are a slave to no one else but to me, says God. This is a Zmirah, a song that is sung by some at the end of Shabbat. God, the Eternal, said to Jacob, Al tira avdi Yaakov, fear not, my servant Jacob. For the Eternal will redeem Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob, and command salvations for Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob. The voice is the voice of Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob. Sing in gladness for Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob. The Eternal will have returned the pride of Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob, and grant truthfulness to Jacob. Fear not, my servant Jacob. Amar Adonai leYaakov al tira avdi Yaakov bachar Adonai beYaakov al tira avdi Yaakov galal Adonai et Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov darach kochav mi Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov habaim yashreish Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov ve'yerd mi Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov al tira avdi Yaakov. We offer our prayers for those who are ill. Sing the first stanza and then pause so that each and every one of us can focus this prayer on behalf of those we care for. And then we'll conclude with the second stanza. Mi shebehirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebehirach imoteinu mikor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shleima, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So this week has been a week of refuah shleima, of renewal. And in our Jewish Learning Center program that occurred on Wednesday, the day of the inauguration, so our students were asked, what do they wish for? What do they pray for our country? And here are the statements that I'd love to share with you that they expressed. Very happy that we finally have a woman as a vice president. I hope that we're able to administer the vaccines properly and effectively. I hope for the quarantine to end and for there to be no more sickness. I hope that the United States will administer the vaccines and conquer coronavirus. I hope for people to have more common sense. I hope for the country that we get rid of the coronavirus. I hope that we prioritize living sustainably on this planet. I hope that we all can move forward with hope and empathy in our hearts. I hope that more people get the vaccine so that COVID will stop soon. I hope people are being kind to each other more. I hope every country gets much better relationships. I hope that racism stops. I hope that everyone has a warm shelter. I hope President Biden can fix mistakes that were made. I hope that Joe Biden can help to reunite this country. I hope that we can save the animals' habitats. And to these prayers we all say, Amen. Page 256, at the bottom of the page. Shir HaMahalot. Hine baruchu et Adonai, kol avdei Adonai, ha'omdim beveit Adonai ba'leilot. Se'u yedeichem kodesh, uvaruchu et Adonai, yivarechecha Adonai mitzion, osei shamayim va'aretz. A song of uplift by David. Behold, Be humbled, all who serve the eternal in wonder, who stand in God's home throughout the long nights. Lift up your hands in holiness and praise your Creator. From Zion, the Holy One will bless you, Maker of heaven and earth. Page 184. Oh, that we could recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish in a minyan of community, each of us feeling each other's warmth and support, that connection that we yearn for so desperately. And then we would all be able to hear and recite the words Yitkadash Shomrei Rabbah Yalmad Yivrach Yilutei V'Yamlich Malchutei V'Chayechonu V'Yomechonu V'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'Vizman Kariv V'Yimru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Li'olam U'Lalmei Maya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitromam V'Yitnasei V'Yitadar V'Yitale V'Yitalal Shmei Dekudisha B'Richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Useh shalom b'imromav. U'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. We're not able to do this yet. So we ask, please accept our prayers and our intentions, and for the sake of your great name, send healing and salvation to the world. Page 187. Adon olam asher malach v'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yeit nasa b'chefzo kol Ay melech shemo nikra ve'acharei yitlot hakol levado yimloch Torah ve'hu hayal Hayom Shabbat Shalom Ma Yafe Hayom Shabbat Shalom Alay